I need to converse with you around reasons that you ought to keep your legs open for your better half. I have been a spouse for more than 40 years. Also, I simply need to converse with you why you ought to keep your legs open for your better half. As a spouse, we have such countless obligations. We have such countless caps. Yet, with regards to sex, some of the time that is placed as a second thought, in light of the fact that, for one's purposes, we're worn out. We have such countless things on our plate. We have given ourselves to such countless individuals over the course of the day. Toward the night's end, we truly have nothing left. So this evening, I truly need to converse with you about the 5 reasons you ought to keep your legs open to your significant other. The first motivation behind why you ought to keep your legs open for your significant other is that it keeps you in the front of his reasoning, and it keeps away ladies seen and concealed. Also, what do I mean by that? There are a few ladies that your better half see consistently at his particular employment, at his work environment, on TV, those different sort of things that may be attempting to purchase for his time when you're not even near. What's more, you're like, goodness, my God, young lady, could this be valid? There are ladies that are attempting to stand out enough to be noticed, and they may be tossing sexual insinuations to him constantly. The second thing that what I'm talking about concealed is that erotic entertainment is spinning out of control with regards to wedded men. Ads are out there. The web is competing for their time, constantly. With regards to sexual entertainment, most men take a gander at sexual entertainment or take a gander at Playboy, or check out a Trickster and these different sort of things. What's more, individuals would rather not discuss it. They say, actually no, not my significant other. However, let me simply tell you 45% of hitched men will concede that they have been on a pornography site, have taken a gander at Playboy magazine, or took a gander at Trickster or some type of pornography since they've been hitched. That is only a little percent. I accept it significantly higher. Yet, 45% of hitched men will say that they have seen some type of pornography. As that is the justification for why I say, as a spouse, you ought to keep your legs open to ward off seen and concealed. Rivalry, to fight off rivalry is also justification for why you ought to keep your legs open for your significant other. It will guarantee that you're the just hotspot for him to get sex. Presently, I comprehend that men will commit an unfaithfulness, and ladies are, as well. However, you should be the sole wellspring of where your significant other gets joy. You're his better half. You were made to have the option to physically satisfy him. You should be the sole wellspring of where your significant other comes to give and to get joy from. What's more, you want to focus on that you're the sole source. It eases pressure. You and him having astounding sex, keeping your legs open for your significant other can assist you and him with easing pressure. What's more, we're living in exceptionally distressing times. Certain individuals are on the cutting edges, getting it going and be protected constantly. Stress is only surrounding us. It is basically incorporated into the greater part of our lives. So when I say the pressure relief, I mean, having astonishing sex is a pressure reliever. It discharges blissful endorphins into the body and into the cerebrum. Your body unwinds, and you are so blissful while you're having intercourse. In this way, young lady, keep your legs open for your better half, particularly on the off chance that you're worried, particularly on the off chance that you and your significant other are not in a decent spot. Open your legs, have intercourse, and you will bring down your pressure rate. What's more, not exclusively will you bring down your pressure rate, you will bring down his too. Regular sex with your netter half assists you with associating actually, intellectually and profoundly with your companion. With all that we have going on, we really want to ensure that we're associating in that large number of regions to keep our relationship solid. So when you ponder, gracious, my God, this is going on, and I got this moving on, and lack the capacity to deal with this, focus on having intercourse in your marriage, in light of the fact that, once more, this is the manner in which you will have the option to associate truly, intellectually, profoundly, across the board. Fair dive. That's what thus many individuals underestimate. However, you should have the option to associate in those areas to ensure that your marriage is strong. Also, keep your legs open. Since God made sex and He said it is so great. I will rehash that you ought to keep your significant other, your legs open for your better half since God made sex and He said it was quite great. As a spouse, you and your significant other ought to be swinging from the roofs since God made it. Thus, numerous relationships get negative criticism since they say when you were dating a man, you will have the option to lay down with her constantly, and she was prepared and she put on the decent unmentionables and the charming undies and she did those things. What's more, when you wedded her, man, she's transformed into a religious woman. I'm determined to change that account. So I say, as a spouse, keep your legs open since God made sex and He made it and said it was likewise great. So ensure that you are strolling and talking and keeping your legs open for your better half. Sex can be a gainful piece of a solid relationship. Research proposes that the typical couple in the U.S. engages in sexual relations about 1 time each week. The recurrence of sex will in general decay with age, and different variables including pressure, youngsters, and by and large well-being can likewise influence an individual's craving for sex. Sexual couples that need to expand their recurrence ought to zero in on imparting their necessities and cooperating. In a strong relationship, there are many advantages to having more sex. Exactly how significant is sex seeing someone? Higher paces of sexual movement are connected to positive changes. For example, lower pulse, decreased pressure, more prominent closeness, and, surprisingly, a lower separate rate. 1 While there are nobody-size-fits-all rules with regards to an ideal sex recurrence, we share understanding from the most recent exploration. Let examines how significant sex is seeing someone. It very well may be essential to have intercourse, a portion of the advantages it might have, and insights on how frequently couples normally have intercourse. It even covers difficulties you could look as a sexual couple and what you can do if you have any desire to build how much sex in your relationship. Why sex is significant seeing someone. Could a relationship at any point make do without sex? Indeed. Sex isn't required 100% of the time. Yet, it very well may be a significant piece of a solid, satisfying relationship. How significant sex is can change starting with one individual then on to the next. Might feel that being a sexual couple is totally essential. Others might feel that different kinds of closeness and association are more significant. A portion of the reasons that you could feel that sex is significant seeing someone. Feeling nearer to your accomplice. Showing friendship to your accomplice. Tracking down sex fun and pleasurable. A craving to have kids. Feeling sure and provocative. Easing pressure. Research recommends that having continuous sex can assume a part in an individual's general prosperity. Having intercourse frequently is connected to more friendship. At the point when couples experience more fondness, they are likewise bound to then have more continuous sex. 2. Sex can be a significant piece of a relationship, yet having intercourse less habitually doesn't be guaranteed to imply that your relationship is any less fulfilling. Advantages of sex in connections. Past individual advantages for yourself as well as your accomplice. Standard sex upholds a sound relationship in various ways. For example, the oxytocin delivered during sex upgrades a feeling of holding and works on close-to-home intimacy. 3. Sex in a monogamous relationship expands your degree of responsibility and close-to-home association with the other individual. Communicating love through sex improves the probability of couples remaining together. Thus, sex is emphatically connected with a lower separate from rate. Mental advantages of sex. There are numerous close-to-home and mental advantages of having intercourse. Sex is unequivocally connected to a superior personal satisfaction. A portion of these advantages include better mental self-portrait. Sex can support confidence and decrease sensations of uncertainty, prompting more certain impression of ourselves. Higher paces of joy. As per a recent report led in China, more consensual sex and better quality sex increment happiness. 4. Really holding. Cerebrum synthetic substances are delivered during sex, including endorphins, which decline crabbiness and sensations of gloom. Another chemical, oxytocin, the embrace drug, increments with areola feeling and other sexual activity. 5. Oxytocin helps cultivate a feeling of serenity and happiness. Stress help. Ongoing pressure might add to bring down sex recurrence. Be that as it may, sex can be a viable pressure the board strategy. Sex decreases pressure reaction chemicals, similar to cortisol and adrenaline, epinephrine, with impacts enduring great into the following day. 1. Further developed rest quality. Climaxes trigger the arrival of the chemical prolactin, which helps sleep. 6. Actual advantages of expanded sex. It's genuinely natural to comprehend how sex works on close-to-home well-being, yet there are various actual advantages from sex also. A portion of these include better actual wellness. Sex is a type of activity. As indicated by the American Heart Affiliation, sexual action is identical to direct proactive tasks, as lively strolling or climbing 2 trips of stairs. 7 The movement of sex can fix and tone stomach and pelvic muscles. For ladies, further developed muscle tone further develops bladder control. Improved cerebrum capability. Primer examinations on rodents observed that more successive intercourse was corresponded with better mental capability and the development of new synapses. Comparative advantages have since been seen in human examinations. A 2018 investigation of more than 6,000 grown-ups connected regular sex with better memory execution in grown-ups ages 50 and older. 8. Worked on resistant capability. Being all the more physically dynamic emphatically affects invulnerable function. 9 Customary sex might try and lower your probability of getting a cold or seasonal influenza. Lower torment levels. The endorphins from sex advance something beyond a feeling of prosperity and quiet. Sex endorphins likewise seem to diminish headache and back torment. Weight reduction. Having intercourse for 30 minutes consumes a normal of 200 calories. 10 The remunerating mind synthetic substances delivered during sex can quell food desires and backing weight reduction. Positive cardiovascular impacts. Penile vaginal sexual movement, yet not masturbation, has been connected with lower systolic blood pressure. 11 Raised pulse builds the gamble of coronary illness and stroke. Sexual action expands veins, expanding the conveyance of oxygen and supplements all through the body while decreasing circulatory strain. Extra actual advantages. Being all the more physically dynamic lifts moxie and increments vaginal grease. Incessant intercourse is related with lighter feminine periods and less difficult period cramps. Also, a superior feeling of smell, better teeth, better assimilation, and shining skin might be connected with the arrival of the chemical DHEA by the body after orgasm. 12. Sex can have various advantages. It can assist with supporting solid connections and may work on in general prosperity. It is additionally connected to individual advantages including pressure alleviation, further developed rest, expanded resistance, and better cardiovascular well-being. Optimal recurrence for sex. While thinking about how frequently a couple ought to have intercourse, a recent report observed that general prosperity is related with sexual recurrence, yet just to an extent. 13 Relationship fulfillment improved dynamically from having no sex up to having intercourse 1 time each week yet didn't work on further, and really diminished fairly, past this point. 1 sexual experience each week is genuinely reliable with the ongoing normal. Be that as it may, our undeniably bustling lives might be impeding having more sex. Contrasted with the recurrence of sex during the 1990s, grown-ups in 2010 were having intercourse 9 less times for every year. 14. Normal sexual recurrence. Normal grown-up, 54 times each year, about 1 time each week. Grown-ups in their 20s, around 80 times each year. Grown-ups in their 60s, 20 times each year. Despite the fact that recurrence frequently diminishes with age, sexual action in more established grown-ups stays significant. As a general rule, more established wedded couples will generally have intercourse more frequently than unmarried friends inside a similar age group. 1. Expected dangers of having more sex. It was once accepted that sex builds the gamble of prostate disease. Nonetheless, a recent report found that men who had more discharges, at least 21 every month, were less inclined to foster the illness than men who had less discharges, 7 or less each month. Since prostate disease is the subsequent driving reason for malignant growth-related passings in men, 15 this impact actually quite important. As far as some might be concerned, sex might expand the possibilities of a respiratory failure. In spite of this gamble, higher sex recurrence might help. A recent report found that customary sexual action reduces coronary failures. Sex, alongside different types of actual work, is defensive. Be that as it may, inconsistent explosions of action put included burden the heart. 16 Talk about your sexual movement with your PCP to assess your dangers. Risky sex could steer the result of advantages and dangers the other way. Ensure you know all about safe sex rehearses. Difficulties of standard sex. While sex can be significant, seeing someone are different variables that can make being a sexual couple seriously testing. Age, chemicals, kids, stress, ailments, and relationship challenges can all assume a part in how often couples participate in sex. Progress in years frequently assumes a part in sex recurrence, generally because of decreases in sex chemical levels as individuals get older. 14 At times, keeping a functioning sexual coexistence is troublesome or unthinkable because of physical or mental circumstances. People are wired to ache for the closeness of sex. Lacking sex can lead people in a relationship to become far off and, maybe, look somewhere else. Working with an authorized couples specialist can assist with tending to this hole and keep issues from saturating all through your marriage. Ways of building closeness beyond sex. Couples can keep areas of strength for a relationship in spite of these hindrances by taking a gander at non-sexual ways of further developing closeness. Thoughts to consider include nestling while at the same time watching a film or sitting in a recreation area. Doing exercises together that you both appreciate, like moving. Giving successive much love. Keeping hands while you're strolling intact. Investing energy conversing with one another. The most effective method to expand sex in your relationship. The recurrence of sex can, and frequently does, change after some time. However, that doesn't mean sex recurrence must be a relentless downhill slide. On the off chance that you're puzzling over whether it's feasible for sex to be pretty much as great as when you previously fell head over heels, the response is yes. Sex and closeness can work on as your relationship develops. It might simply require some additional work. There are various ways of enlivening your sexual coexistence. Taking a gander at the non-sexual pieces of your relationship can help. It's generally said that the greatest sex organ is the one between the ears. Having intercourse all the more frequently without associating genuinely or expanding correspondence isn't probably going to create enduring upgrades in your relationship. Overseeing pressure is one more key component for a solid sexual coexistence. In her book, The Sex-Starved Marriage: Helping Your Marriage Thrive, a couples aid specialist Michelle Weiner Davis, MSW, recommends taking a get-it-done approach. 17. From the start, many were naturally careful about my Nike-style way to deal with their sexual coexistence. The get-it-done guidance opposed all that they had accepted about how sexual craving unfolds. I could frequently see the help on individuals' countenances when they discovered that their absence of unexpectedly sexual inclinations didn't be guaranteed to mean an issue. It didn't mean something wasn't quite right about them or that something was absent from their relationships, Weiner Davis makes sense of. It recently implied that they encountered want in an unexpected way. Assuming that you generally trust that your degree of want will match that of your accomplice, you might be holding up quite a while. All things being equal, impart your requirements and work together to figure out a fair compromise. How much of the time you have intercourse might alter over the direction of your relationship. Speaking with your accomplice can assist with reinforcing your relationship and work on sexual fulfillment. Sex can be a helpful piece of a solid relationship. Research recommends that the typical couple in the U.S. has intercourse about 1 time per week. The recurrence of sex will in general downfall with age, and different elements including pressure, youngsters, and by and large well-being can likewise influence an individual's longing for sex. Sexual couples that need to expand their recurrence ought to zero in on conveying their requirements and cooperating. While concluding how significant sex is seeing someone, sex on a more regular basis, or if nothing else at least 1 time each week, gives numerous advantages to a cherishing and strong relationship. That being said, developing closeness is as yet conceivable assuming you can't engage in sexual relations. On the off chance that you are not having intercourse routinely, wonder why. At times seeing a sex specialist might be the most effective way to deal with your relationship and private matters. Sex treatment benefits people and couples the same. Sexual intimacy is a crucial aspect of any romantic relationship. A healthy and satisfying sexual connection not only enhances emotional bonding but also contributes significantly to overall relationship satisfaction. However, maintaining and enhancing good sex in a relationship requires effort, communication, and a willingness to explore and evolve together. This article delves into various strategies and considerations for cultivating a fulfilling and enjoyable sexual relationship. Open communication. Effective communication is the cornerstone of any successful relationship, and this is particularly true when it comes to matters of intimacy. Honest and open conversations about desires, boundaries, preferences, and concerns are vital. Creating a safe space where both partners feel comfortable discussing their sexual needs can lead to a deeper understanding of each other's desires and concerns. Discussing fantasies and desires. Exploring each other's fantasies and desires can be a thrilling way to enhance intimacy. Sharing fantasies fosters a sense of vulnerability and openness, strengthening the emotional connection between partners. As long as both partners are comfortable and consensual, engaging in shared fantasies can lead to exciting and novel experiences that contribute to a more satisfying sexual relationship. Prioritizing emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy lays the foundation for satisfying sexual experiences. Deepening your emotional connection through meaningful conversations, quality time, and gestures of affection can lead to a more profound level of trust and understanding. When partners feel emotionally connected, they are more likely to experience greater satisfaction and fulfillment in their sexual interactions. Exploring mutual exploration. Curiosity and a sense of adventure can inject new energy into a sexual relationship. Exploring each other's bodies, preferences, and erogenous zones through mutual exploration can lead to heightened pleasure and intimacy. Learning what brings pleasure to your partner and openly communicating your own desires can create a sense of reciprocity and mutual satisfaction. Mindfulness and presence. In a fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in distractions, leading to a lack of presence during intimate moments. Practicing mindfulness during sexual experiences can enhance sensations and connections. Focusing on the present moment, using techniques such as deep breathing or meditation, can intensify physical and emotional sensations, leading to a more profound and satisfying sexual experience. Variety and creativity. Routine can sometimes lead to sexual monotony. Introducing variety and creativity into your sexual repertoire can reignite passion and desire. Trying new positions, locations, or incorporating sensual activities like massages or role-playing can add a sense of excitement and novelty to your intimate moments. Physical health and well-being. Physical health plays a significant role in sexual satisfaction. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and adequate sleep contribute to overall well-being, positively impacting sexual performance and desire. Engaging in physical activities together can also be a bonding experience, promoting a healthier and more fulfilling sexual relationship. Prioritizing consent and boundaries. Respecting and prioritizing each other's boundaries and consent is paramount. A safe and respectful environment fosters trust and comfort, allowing both partners to fully engage in intimate experiences without reservations. Regularly checking in with each other to ensure consent and discussing boundaries can lead to a more respectful and satisfying sexual relationship. Quality time outside the bedroom. Enhancing sexual intimacy doesn't solely rely on activities in the bedroom. Quality time spent outside of sexual encounters is equally crucial. Engaging in shared hobbies, going on romantic dates, and spending time connecting emotionally can contribute to a deeper bond, enhancing the overall quality of your sexual relationship. Managing stress. Stress can significantly impact sexual desire and performance. High levels of stress release cortisol, which can inhibit sexual arousal. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, such as exercise, meditation, or engaging in relaxing activities together, can positively influence your sexual experiences by promoting relaxation and increasing overall well-being. Addressing challenges together. Challenges within a relationship are inevitable. Addressing them openly and collaboratively can prevent unresolved issues from negatively impacting your sexual connection. Seeking professional help, such as couples therapy, can provide a safe space to navigate challenges and enhance your ability to communicate effectively, ultimately improving your sexual relationship. Cultivating a healthy and satisfying sexual relationship requires a combination of open communication, emotional intimacy, creativity, and a willingness to explore and evolve together. By prioritizing each other's desires, boundaries, and well-being, couples can create a fulfilling and enjoyable sexual connection that contributes to overall relationship satisfaction. Remember that a fulfilling sexual relationship is an ongoing journey that requires effort, understanding, and a commitment to growth. The frequency of sexual intimacy in a relationship is a topic that varies widely among couples. There is no one-size-fits-all answer to the question of how often couples should have sex, as it depends on individual preferences, physical health, emotional connection, and other factors unique to each partnership. Instead of focusing on a specific number, it's more important for couples to communicate openly and find a rhythm that works best for both partners. Communication is key. One of the fundamental aspects of a healthy sexual relationship is communication. Couples should openly discuss their desires, preferences, and expectations regarding sexual frequency. This conversation should take into account the physical and emotional needs of both individuals, allowing them to come to a mutual understanding that respects their boundaries and desires. Quality over quantity. While the media and societal expectations may suggest that a certain frequency is ideal, the quality of sexual encounters is often more important than the quantity. Couples who prioritize meaningful, intimate connections rather than a specific number of times per week or month are more likely to experience satisfaction and fulfillment in their sexual relationship. Focusing on emotional closeness, exploring each other's bodies, and communicating openly can lead to more gratifying experiences. Lifestyle factors. The frequency of sexual activity can be influenced by various lifestyle factors. Work schedules, family responsibilities, stress levels, and overall health can impact a couple's desire and ability to engage in sexual intimacy. Instead of adhering to external pressures, couples should consider how these factors affect their relationship and adapt accordingly. Some phases of life may naturally lead to more or less frequent sexual activity, and it's important to be understanding and flexible during these times. Variety and spontaneity. Maintaining a sense of excitement and spontaneity can contribute to a satisfying sexual relationship. While routine can sometimes lead to predictability, introducing variety and surprise can reignite passion and desire. Couples can explore new activities, experiment with different locations, or engage in playful interactions to keep the sexual connection vibrant and engaging. Maintaining a sense of excitement and spontaneity can contribute to a satisfying sexual relationship. While routine can sometimes lead to predictability, introducing variety and surprise can reignite passion and desire. Couples can explore new activities, experiment with different locations, or engage in playful interactions to keep the sexual connection vibrant and engaging.